Hey guys, welcome back. This is Davin with davindeedoodles, and thank you so much for joining me again for our Color and Chat Part 2. So this is Johanna Basford's Lost Ocean, and as you saw last time, we already began our section for Shark Week. I was hoping to have it finished before the end of Shark Week, and technically this is Saturday, so I'm hoping to finish it today. But there were some circumstances and some stuff going on that I wasn't able to get to it sooner. Pardon my arm, I'm sorry. So this is what we've got so far. We were able to go ahead and finish up our great white. We were able to finish up this guy, and I love the look of the ocean and him. I just love it. The one on the bottom here is definitely going to need some work with some colored pencils, and the one on top is the one that I'm hoping to at least finish up. But I'm very indecisive with colors, as you guys are probably going to learn, and I'm going to do the best I can not to drive you crazy. I had a whole palette picked out, I turned on the camera, I was ready to go, and then I froze up. I was like, oh, I don't like it anymore, I need to change it. It looks too much like this one. Well, whatever. We're just gonna go for it and hope it looks okay. So I'm gonna zoom in so we can get started. I'm gonna move you down. All right, now we're in frame. So hopefully my camera doesn't go too crazy, and I'm sorry, but if it's not at a specific distance, it tends to go autofocus nuts and it looks like the camera is jumping, and I'm still trying to kind of get a grasp on why it does that, besides to drive me crazy. So I think what I'm gonna do is borrow some colors I have for the bottom shark. I'm also not sure if I want to color this in. I know how I'm going to do that. Okay, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to use... I think I'm going to make the inside yellow. So we're going to start there. I made a decision, you guys. This is a big moment. Actually, I noticed where I need to fix some blue. This is a big moment for me. I made a decision, though. So, anyway, now that I'm celebrating small victories, I do want to just ask how you guys are doing. I hope everyone is well and that they're staying cool and hydrated. It is ridiculously hot outside. I mean, like, ungodly hot. I live in New Orleans, and I know there are several colorists on ColorTube that actually live in the South, so I'm not the only one suffering. But it's just been, like, brutal, and I don't know when this heat wave or whatever the issue is going to end. I actually spent some time about a year ago. We visited Terlingua, which for those of you that don't know is like South Texas. It's literally on the border with Mexico, and we went on vacation there. And because like I was checking the weather and stuff to see how it was before we went on vacation, I would still get notifications to this day about their weather and stuff like that. And I got a heat advisory for Terlingua, Texas that was like, I think they were warning of temperatures up to 110 on the basin and 100 degrees in the mountains. And that is absolutely insane. I don't understand how anything can live there during the summer. I mean, yeah, people are probably used to it when they do live there, but just the thought of having to endure that every single day is so overwhelming. But, I mean, I hope everybody else is able to kind of get along and that their air conditioning is working. If you even have air conditioning, I really hope you do, or at least a window unit. So, besides that, trying to think of if anything significant has happened since I last talked to you guys. My headaches do seem to be getting a little bit better. The last couple that I've had were at least able to be taken care of with some aspirin, so that was really nice. But, you know, hopefully, like, as time goes on and as I'm on this medication a little bit longer, it will stop with that, because it put a really hard break on my art and coloring, and it's just like everything was setting it off. Like light was setting it off. It was almost like a migraine, And I mean, even smells were setting it off, and that's not normal for me. for a while I was really concerned because there's like strokes and stuff that run in our family, which I'm like in my 30s. I should not be having a stroke. But I was concerned. I was like, this is not normal to have this many headaches this often. And I looked it up, and sure enough, one of the top side effects for this medicine is frequent headaches. So I was like, okay, at least I know I'm not dying. But oh goodness. So I do have some inspiration going on, and I figured I would come color with you guys and kind of chat a little bit. I'm in a little bit of a chatty mood. I was driving my husband a little bit crazy, so I thought I would come in here and funnel that somewhere. He's been working from home the past couple days, like the past week actually. And I try to give him his space when he's working, but when he's not, it's like, oh hey, now that you're done, let's talk. At least when I don't have headaches, that's the case. So I think he's kind of like hiding in his room playing his video game right now. He bought the new Ghost of, oh, I can't remember what it's called. It's the new one from Sucker Punch where they're like in Mongolia. And I can't remember what it's called. No, they're not in Mongolia, they're in Japan. They're fighting Mongolians. Oh well, I don't remember what it's called. Ghost of something. And he's been playing that every single day. Like, he loves it. He's normally, like, he used to be a really big gamer, like when he was younger. But now it's just like, he can't put it down. And that's fine, like, you know, as long as he does what needs to be done and he spends time with me, I don't really care. I'm in here doing this. So. And as far as my gaming goes, I am still like at a hard standstill. I am terrified to continue in that game, Subnautica, because I know what I have to do and I know what's waiting for me. And Subnautica is underwater, and you guys know how I feel about water at this point, so even in a video game I panic a little. And I think I told you guys the story about how my husband was trying to sleep and I was playing it and I literally screamed like a little girl and he woke up. I felt so bad. So I'm like, I'm not gonna play it. But it's helping me kind of funnel my creativity in other ways. I did a watercolor painting for this week's art video. And I decided to do a watercolor painting of a shark, and I mixed my own paints. I only used the primary colors. I'm trying to kind of get a better feel of like good color schemes because I like to stick to what I know, and what I know is blue. I really, really like blue. So I'm trying to kind of branch out. Like, as you can see, I'm using warmer colors here to kind of contrast with the blue colors of the ocean. So everything's kind of like mixing together, but I think I got inspired doing that. I have little mermaid characters I like to draw. One is named Duncan and the other, well, I haven't introduced him to the channel yet, so I won't introduce him yet, but they're adorable. And I created another one last night because I couldn't sleep. I think I'm overtired. I think that's become an issue. Because I was sitting there and I was like, oh, I'm so tired, I'm gonna go to bed. And I laid in bed, and as soon as my head hit the pillow, I was wide awake. I was sitting there creating characters, creating little stories. I'm thinking of actually trying to take my friend's advice. She's actually been asking me to write and illustrate a children's book for her. Because she knows that I am a writer, she knows that I'm really passionate about writing, and she likes the illustrations I do with my mermaid characters. So she's been asking me for one because her daughter's about to have a baby, and she wants to have like a book that she can, you know, read to her granddaughter at night. And I've been kind of like stuck. I haven't known what to really, you know, write, which I do feel bad about, but I haven't known what to do. And I think I finally kind of have that figured out. And I'm looking for a gel pen, I'm sorry. I'm just not sure which orange I usually use. See, I had everything all picked out and then I changed my mind. We're gonna go with Restful Yellow. Which one is that? 16? I'm pretty sure this is like the driest gel pen I own. And of course this is the one I want to use. What does this one look like? Oh no, that's not gonna work. What about... Sorry, just give me 2 seconds. I'm so sorry. And excuse my sniffles, they're just starting. Oh, I have to use this dry pen. Okay, so yeah, I'm considering actually, well, I'm not considering it, I'm going to do it. It's just a matter of making myself sit down and come up with a storyline because I don't have kids. And like my first thought is, what am I supposed to write about for, you know, a little child? Like, I don't know what they like to read. So, if you have children and you have small children, please let me know what kind of things you look for in a storybook. Because, dear God, I am struggling. And I'm trying to get it done. Like, I really want to do this for her. And I have some really cute characters that I think would work really well. But I just don't know. Like, I know I can't use big vocabulary. And it's just short sentences, things like that. But it's like, that alone is difficult for me. And I want to apologize real quick because you're going to hear some like probably grunting and whimpering soon, and that is my dog. She is asleep underneath me. And she's a little crazy and she has really vivid dreams that I'm pretty sure it's like her chasing us and trying to tackle us or something. So, do I want that to be yellow? I think I want that to be purple. Is that? Oh, you guys hear that? That's thunder. Our daily... Oh, I just made that orange. I grabbed the wrong pen. I wonder if I can go over it. I'm gonna make it yellow. It'll just be really yellow here. So we've been getting like daily thunderstorms that I love. I love these thunderstorms. We lived up north for a really long time and we didn't have them there, and it was so depressing because I would sit and I would get all hopeful every single time that we were gonna have that thunderstorm. We were finally gonna have that thunderstorm, and it never came. And it eventually got to the point that, you know, I just gave up. Goodness. Like, we lived in northern Minnesota, okay, so occasionally, and I mean occasionally, it would actually storm. But the worst storms you would get, of course, would be snowstorms. And I had never lived in snow before. I had never seen snow before. So, of course, the first time I see snow is in Minnesota, where I'm expected to drive in it to get to work, to go to school. And I would work at, like, my very first job in Minnesota was at a Michael's. And I was one of their stock people, so we would get there at like 6 o'clock in the morning to make sure the store was nice and stocked for like the day. So you can imagine, we would get like a couple, maybe not a couple feet. We would get, say, a foot of snow, okay? And everything in Duluth, which is where I lived, is on a giant hill. So I lived at the bottom of said hill, and I would have to drive at 6 o'clock in the morning before the plows have gone and drive my merry little butt in a truck, like a small, and I'm not talking like an F-150. Woo! Sorry, that scared me. I would have to drive my merry little butt up this hill in a little bitty, like, Ford, what were they called, Rangers? It was an old truck. And had to hope that I didn't hit ice, I didn't hit snow. Like, I would have to, like, pray, basically. That was a hot mess. But I never had an accident, and I was really surprised because I was coming down the hill once. We had worked overnight because it was, sorry, my dog does not like thunderstorms, so you're gonna start hearing her pant. So we were working an overnight because it was the holiday season. Oh, those were fun. And again, it had been snowing all night, okay? Which was fine, like I didn't mind that. I didn't care. I didn't mind the cold. What I minded was I think they let us go at 6 in the morning. I was trying to drive down the hill and the roads hadn't been plowed or anything like that, and I lost control. Like I was fishtailing because there was nothing. I didn't know I was supposed to load down the back of the truck. I had never lived up north, so I didn't know. And luckily there was nobody at the stop sign at the bottom of the hill at a particular intersection, because I couldn't stop. I was hitting my brakes, desperately trying to, and I just kept going. And I mean, people kind of expect that there. Like it's, usually people will kind of sit longer at a stop sign or stop light if they know it's a situation like that, because they know you're not going to be able to stop. But it was still scary. Like I had never had that happen. I had personally never had it happen. So I was, not a happy camper. I was about to cry and, well, I wasn't gonna cry, but I was just, scared me. I was not happy. So for anybody up north, you have my sympathy during the wintertime, because it got so bad there at some points that it was just, I think my friend, after I had moved, she sent me, I might have to turn this off, this is getting bad. After I had moved, my friend sent me a picture of the snowstorm they got there. And after they plowed the roads, it was so high. They have like the traditional street posts, like, goodness, they have like light posts there above ground. And it was literally, the snowbanks were up to the light posts. So good luck getting out anyway. That actually set off car alarms. So it was like, good luck getting anywhere if you needed to, go to work or have a shift someplace or even a class. Like, I'm pretty sure that would have been one of those days they actually shut down the city. I've never seen it that bad, but I had been told that they would have snowstorms like the 4th of July. Or like our first landlord had told us that we lived in a second floor duplex, and he said that there was a year that the snow was so bad it literally came up to the windows on the second floor. So luckily it was never that bad when we were there, but it was still very scary at some points driving and stuff. Otherwise, I was outside making snow forts, I was running around. I didn't understand why these northern people were so miserable, because I was not cold. And that's coming from a southern girl, so that was kind of weird, but like my husband still doesn't like the cold much, but I will run around and be perfectly fine. Which brings me to a question. I want to know what you guys think. Are you more prone to appreciating warm weather, or are you like the rest of the world and tend to, well, no, most people seem to appreciate the warm weather, like warmer climates at least, and most people don't like the cold very much. I'm the other way around. I would much rather be cold because I can at least get warm. And, if you're hot, I don't know, if I'm hot, I'm cranky. So yeah, there's air conditioning and stuff like that, but you can't do anything. Like, at least if it's cold, you can bundle up and go outside. And it's like, if you don't have a pool or a beach or something, what are you gonna do in the heat? Because I'm not going for a stroll right now, I can tell you that. Let's see. We have, I feel like this takes me forever. I don't understand how you guys can make color in chats that are so quick. That's so crazy to me. But I do like how this one's kind of looking. I think I kind of want to make like a big purple. I'm gonna make a purple. Or do I want the purple? I'm gonna do both. See, I'm so indecisive. I think that's part of my issue. I love these gel pens when they work. There are a few that are pretty scratchy, but and see, this one almost looks like its own pen. I almost grabbed my Pitt pens and used those as a combination. But I really think part of my problem when it comes to coloring is giving myself too many options and getting overwhelmed. So I wanted to try and keep it kind of simple, and I'm trying to do like maybe a couple of cool colors, maybe a couple of warmer colors. Because I have to be careful because it's on a blue background. So like I really didn't want to use this blue here. But I felt like maybe it was bright enough it would stand out a little bit. And I could always, if I don't like it later, I could technically grab a gel pen, and I might actually do that because I don't feel like it stands out very much. I might just do like a couple of leaves to kind of give it some glitterness. Glitterness is not a word, but it is today. God, excuse my sniffles. Sometimes being left-handed is such a chore, but it's okay. Man, I love when we get storms like this. I'm kind of curious if it's just gonna blow over though. That's gonna make me sad if it does, but and I don't think I want to have a ton of pink here. I don't know. Do you guys have issues like trying to figure out what should go where color-wise? Do I put too much thought into it? I feel like I do. I feel like it's, you know, supposed to be fun and I'm making it into like this huge math equation or something. But I don't know. Let's see. So Anthony and I are planning on going to Texas again. There is something called, is it the Baton? Basically, it's a death march. It's actually like a memorial march for, I believe it was World War II, where the Japanese took a bunch of Philippine and American soldiers prisoner, and they pretty much walked them until they, you know, passed. They were being led to a prisoner camp very, very far away. So there's it's a marathon distance. But you can either walk it, some people run it, some people dress up in their military uniforms and actually carry like their packs and stuff, kind of like really honoring and recreating it. I will not be doing that, but he does want me to go with him to do the actual walk. So I will go with him. I feel like I need a drink, and I'm gonna go check the weather to be sure it's actually gonna cooperate. So I will be back in like 2 seconds. Alright, so I hope you guys are able to see this okay. And I hope it doesn't do like the crazy autofocus stuff. But I did go outside and take a look, and it is quite dark. And I think we're okay. Like, I don't think it's enough to knock out the power, but we'll see. Oh, I was talking about the Baton March. So we are going to be making a trip in March, assuming it doesn't like get canceled or nothing crazy happens with all the, you know, plague and stuff like that we have going on right now. So we're planning on that, and what we're going to do is actually make another trip to Big Bend, which is where we went roughly, was it a year ago? Year and a half ago? We tried to go for my birthday, okay? And I was having gallbladder issues at the time. And it's kind of a long story, but, well, I mean, we're here anyway. So we went to Big Bend to try to celebrate my birthday. And I had been trying to get healthier, and I had lost about 40 pounds in a very short amount of time. I was really kicking my own butt. I was going like I was riding my bike and cycling every single day. And I really cleaned up my diet, and I was just doing really well. And I noticed one night that I was having a lot of pain in like my back all the way into my chest, and I originally thought I was having a heart attack. And I knew it wasn't a heart attack because my heart rate wasn't that high, and like I wasn't having any of the other symptoms. I was literally just having chest and back pain and nausea. And from having friends that had like, say, gastric bypass and things like that, I knew that there was a danger of people losing weight too quickly. Because the two people that I knew that had it done had gallbladder issues. So I was thinking to myself, this is what it is. And I even went to my primary care doctor. With my insurance, I have to do everything through my primary care. They have to give me a referral for absolutely everything. And I went to them, I complained about it. They said they were going to get me a referral for an ultrasound to check it out, and then never really did it. They never really followed up, and I attempted to follow up and never got through to anybody. That was probably my bad. Like, I probably should have chased them down and insisted. But I mean, that clinic is so poorly run, and I'm not the only one that's like, I had issues with it. I figured the next time it happened, I was just gonna go to the emergency room. And that's exactly what my PCP had told me was, oh, if it happens again, just go to the emergency room. Okay, well, that's fine. And it didn't, not for a while. Well, we're at Big Bend, which for those of you that don't know is quite a ways away from any kind of civilization, I would say, except for like the tiny little village it's in. Like, there's no grocery stores really, there's like nothing there. And anything that is there is going to be horribly overpriced. So I was doing good, we were having a good time, we managed to go hiking and have a lot of fun. But I wasn't getting sleep, and I started to realize I was starting to have symptoms, I was starting to have problems. But I didn't want to say anything because I was afraid, you know, I didn't want to ruin the vacation. And I kept holding off, and eventually it got to the point where I couldn't ignore it anymore. And my poor husband had to drive me on like our second to last day on this week-long vacation we had booked. We had to drive 2 hours to the nearest hospital at 10 o'clock at night because the pain was so bad and it would not go away. And I knew what it was, so I wasn't like worried that I was, you know, having a heart attack. What I was worried is that it was going to stop once I got there. Well, it didn't stop. And basically they did the ultrasound right away. They saw a bunch of gallstones, and they wanted to life flight me to a hospital with a surgeon because their hospital was so small, they didn't have one. Well, I wasn't going to do that because I knew my insurance wasn't going to pay for it, and basically I ended up having my husband drive me 2 more hours to the nearest hospital with the nearest surgeon to have emergency surgery on my gallbladder and have it removed, like, on our vacation. I was so mad because it was the first vacation we had had in a while. There was a lot of stuff that had gone on, and there was some issues with the place I was working at. So it was really the first opportunity we had to go have fun and do something, and then my body decides it's just gonna break. I was not a happy camper, but it was what it is, and thank God that I had it removed, because they told my husband that if I hadn't had it taken out that night, it would have really become an emergency because it was backing, like there were gallstones lodged into the tubes that go to like the pancreas and stuff. Like, they were stuck. They were not coming out. They made it pretty clear that it would have been way worse of a surgery. It would have been much worse all around if I hadn't had that surgery that night. So, I mean, that was good that I had it done, but, you know, we would like to try again without the emergency surgery. And I still feel so bad. Like, I laugh about it, but my poor husband, he had the crap scared out of him. He knew it was a problem when I actually asked to go to the doctor. So let's put it that way. Like, I am not a doctor girl. I do not like them. But everything worked out, and so we're hoping that after the Baton March we'll be able to go back and have a proper vacation without any emergencies and all that stuff, and just enjoy our time. It really was a lovely place. I would highly recommend it for anybody that is interested and can tolerate a little bit of heat. Just lots of, the mountains were beautiful. The desert itself was actually really beautiful, which surprised me. And I think if I hadn't been in such bad condition, I would have enjoyed the hikes more and stuff like that. So we're really excited to go back and hoping to make a good little trip out of it. So we'll see how much I enjoy the hikes after a mile-long hike in the desert a couple days before. So it makes me wonder if anybody else, has anybody else been to Big Bend? Has anybody else been to that area? Is there any place that I should go in Texas? Has anybody else vacationed there besides the beach? Like, I don't want to do a beach, which sounds kind of weird, but I'm doing a beach vacation later this year, so I'm good on the beach. I would like to explore new places and see new things. So if you have a recommendation of someplace in Texas, I would be more than happy to hear it. I would love to hear your stories or any places you think might be worth stopping in to see. I do love the idea of like fossils and seeing things like that. I actually have a small collection of fossils I inherited from my dad that I love, and so I'm very interested in those sorts of things. And there was a short time that I wanted to be a paleontologist. The only reason I didn't pursue it was because I wasn't good enough at the math, and you need lots of math to be able to become a paleontologist, apparently. So, but before that, I wanted to be a storm chaser. And this was before, like, they actually had people that were storm chasers. I just saw the movie with, I think it was Bill Paxton. Yeah, the dude from Aliens. Yeah, that guy. That Bill Paxton. I can't ever remember him or Bill Pullman. So, the one from Aliens, you know, he was in that movie Twister, and I saw that when I was a kid, and I wanted to be a tornado chaser for the longest time. And then I realized people actually do that, and they're really dumb. That's not a safe thing to do. I would not recommend it to anybody. That's that's kind of a scary thought, but you do you. Let's put it that way. Just please don't. Please don't. That's all I'm gonna say. That was weird. Everything just got really quiet. When I was a kid, for a short while, I was actually really scared of thunderstorms because every kid goes through that. And then I started to like really appreciate them when I was older and, you know, saw Twister and all that. I really did start to like them, and they're almost like lullabies. And they're just fascinating to watch. Sometimes it's nice to just open the window and watch the lightning. And I remember at one point when I was like real little, in Jacksonville, like in North Florida, I'm sure people in the South, like all across the South, have this. So I'm really curious, like if you live in the South, please let me know if you also have the daily afternoon thunderstorms. I'm sure you do, but is it like clockwork that, like, you know, you have the thunderstorms every day? I remember being real small, like real small, and there was a tornado warning. And I remember, and this is something I can't remember if it's I don't know if it's a dream or if it's an actual memory, but I remember being in my very first house with my mom and my dad, and like I remember the sky was like this weird shade of like yellowish green. And my mom was saying, you know, there's a tornado, it's coming. And, you know, I don't know what that means. I don't remember really understanding what she was talking about, but I remember my mom standing on the porch, and she would totally do this. She would do this to this day, okay? I remember her like standing on the porch and looking around, and I remember like we had a lamp and it was sitting on the top of the fire, like the mantle of the fireplace, and it was just blinking like on and off, on and off. And I was trying to find it, and I couldn't see it. But then we looked up, and in this yellowish green sky, we saw like a funnel shape, but there was no sound, there was no rain, but you could almost kind of make out the funnel. It was really weird. And that was the only time I ever remember seeing anything remotely like tornado-y. Otherwise, all the tornado excitement happened when I was like somewhere else. Like I would have been at my aunt's or something, and my mom would be like, "Oh, there was a tornado warning. We saw it." What? Why didn't I get to see it? I would always get so mad. And I feel bad because I know that there was one girl, what channel was I watching? Was it Adult Coloring with UFOs? I think she was coloring. She had told the story about coloring, and then she had a bunch of tornado warnings and she was freaked out. And you know, that is a very scary thing. She is totally within her rights to freak out. If I was in her place now, I certainly would. But I think about it and it's like fascinating, you know, like how quickly things can happen that we don't even anticipate. Now what color do I want to make this? I think I want to do this. And it's crazy how quickly they can hit and how quickly they leave. My dad, when he was alive, it was Hurricane Irma, or was it a tropical storm at that point? He lived in Jacksonville too, so he was in North Florida, and it hit. And I remember like being worried because he lived in an area that liked to flood. Like they would get pretty good rains and then the streets would flood. So I'm thinking like if they got an actual hurricane, his house is probably like, you know, taking on water at this point. Well, he sends me a text and it has a tree, a big pine tree, okay, through his window, through his back window, crushing and sitting on top of his house. Half of it's in his window, half of it's on his roof. And he just sends me a text. He's like, "Oh no, Irma got me." I'm like, are you serious right now? Like, there's a tree hanging out of your house. How can you make jokes? But he just had that kind of personality where he was real, you know, he was pretty laid back. So it's like, really, dude? Well, it's a good thing you're a carpenter because now you gotta fix that. So I will never forget that. He sent me that text and I was like panicking and he was just laughing. It's like, you would do that. Yeah, you would make me panic and then laugh. But hurricanes are no joke, and I do worry about them living in New Orleans for obvious reasons, but we've been pretty fortunate so far, and I'm hoping we stay that way. Nothing too traumatizing or dramatic has happened so far since we've been here. But you know, that doesn't mean it's never going to change. And that's always kind of in your mind. So my idea for this guy was maybe making him a little more bioluminescent, like a little bit brighter and more obnoxious. So I'm kind of just throwing all my bright colors at him, and we'll see how he takes it. And just like that, the storm seems to have passed. Alright, I need a sharper pencil. Ooh. Excuse me. So, I'm curious if we're gonna get Like, I don't remember how much longer hurricane season even is, and that's bad. I should know. I should have that like marked on my calendar, but I don't remember. I'm like lost in thought trying to recall. Sorry. I'm not trying to be like really quiet. But I have... Oh goodness. Okay, so I'm trying to decide what to do with the small leaves here. I don't want it to be a clone of the top one where it's a bunch of yellow and orange on top of each other, but I want it to be brighter. And I thought I had like a neon, because I have this ColorIt kit, and this doesn't look too good. I have a ColorIt kit, and it's like neon colors, metallic colors, and glitter colors. So obviously I've been using a lot of the glitter. And I was thinking I could use some of the neon now. Okay. I hear music outside. They didn't stop their little party. They just kept going, which is true New Orleans style. You know, that's what you're gonna do. I almost want to use like... Do I want to use a bright neon? Oh, excuse me. Oh god, it's coming back. Round 2. So for October, we usually go visit my parents and we go to the beach. And I'm so excited to be able to go and collect shark's teeth. That's all I really want to do is go collect shark's teeth. No real reason why, I just want to. And we only ever really find the baby teeth. Maybe I'll show it on the channel one day. But like, we have bags of little bitty baby teeth. I've never found a big one, but I would like to. And there's a guy, okay. Oh god, okay, this guy. When I go to the beach, we usually stop at the little touristy shops and we buy like a Megalodon tooth or a Mako tooth. There's something to kind of like, this is my souvenir for the trip. And I have a whole collection of those. And what I found out is that there is a specific guy that provides this shop with their teeth. I don't think I want to use that color. I changed my mind. I'm going to use a gel pen. Go figure. And they named him Sharktooth Joe. So Sharktooth Joe every morning goes out, collects these big old shark's teeth and sells them, and they turn around and sell the teeth to people like me that can't seem to find his... I've been looking for his like little hole. I call it a hole, but you know how like fishermen have the fishing hole? Yeah, I've been looking for this and I've never found it. And I one year I was so annoyed because I wanted to find a big shark's tooth. I would look for an older guy that I thought might be Sharktooth Joe, and I saw some dude walking down the beach with like a pail, and he was looking at shark's teeth. Like, I knew that's what he was doing, because you have the people that collect shells and the people that collect teeth. And he stopped and he had a little pail full of teeth, and I started following him hoping that I would catch his little discreet location for the big ones, and I never did. He probably thought I was nuts. Yes, I was a certifiable stalker for a minute there, but you know, I didn't hurt anybody. I didn't do anything bad. I just wanted shark's teeth. That sounds so messed up. But I mean, come on, like no one else has done something like that ever. So the things I mostly collect, I do have a big collection of fossils and shark's teeth, some of which I did inherit and some of which I actually buy myself or find. And obviously, you know, finding it is more rewarding than buying it, right? So I do collect shark's teeth and some fossils. Oh, come on, pen. Work with me. You're not gonna work. And I have a ton of books. Like, I mean a ton. So apart from art supplies, I don't think this pen's gonna work anymore. So apart from like art supplies and maybe coloring stuff, I do have a ton of books. And when I say like a ton, it's bad enough to the point where when the government went to move us for my husband's job, the movers came in, they looked at my bookshelf, and they may or may not have cursed. And that was about 8 years ago, so the size of that has doubled by now, if not tripled. Because there's a used bookstore in Florida that I visit every year. So, I do enjoy my books. So what do you guys collect? I know some people collect coloring books. Do you collect books? Do you collect, I don't know, what do people collect? Buttons? Stamps? My husband used to collect like Yu-Gi-Oh cards and Pokemon cards. And I kind of wish he kept them because they're worth a lot now. So what do you guys collect? You should let me know it down in the comments. Okay, I'm gonna get some tea. I'll be right back. All right, that wasn't too bad, was it? Can you guys actually see what I'm doing? I'm trying to be mindful because I don't want to hit the tripod, and I also don't want the autofocus to like rebel against me. So I'm sorry in advance if it doesn't cooperate. So, I don't want to use any more of that orange gel pen. That thing is really a pain in the butt. I think what I'm going to do is just kind of add some bright colors. Now we are getting towards the end of what I'm actually going to do with you guys live time, because I don't want to drive you too crazy. I'm going to, I gotta sneeze. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna break away and then I'm gonna do the background and I'll come back at the end to show you what I did. So, for now you have me for a little bit longer while I indecisively color. All right. So I've been talking a lot about these vacations that I haven't even taken yet. Do you guys have like a favorite spot you like to vacation? Is there any like hidden areas I should know about? I really would like to know. I think I talked about my last video. I went to Gatlinburg. And I really enjoyed that, but I haven't been in a long time. And I don't do, like, I know some people love like Disney and theme parks and stuff like that. I am not a crowd person. I live in New Orleans and I've never been to Mardi Gras. Let's put it that way. That is how, like, I don't do people, like crowds of people. And I don't do rides. I don't like rides. If it gives you a feeling of a lost control, I won't do it. I just can't. And so like I've never been one to be really enthusiastic about theme parks. I've always been more just like, let's go to the beach or let's just go do something, you know, let's go to the desert. Let's go adventure and see something different. Let's not go someplace and spend a lot of money, you know, on like beverages or whatever else they're gonna try and sell you there. I think I'll do another green. He's just gonna be a super bright shark. Even though he's right on top of green, I don't care. We're just gonna go for it. Okay. You know what's funny is I normally don't talk this much. My mom, I feel really bad because I don't get to see her that much. And she's made comments in the past. She's like, you're just such a quiet person. Like, I feel like you know, you don't talk. I feel like I'm boring you, or you don't have any, like, I like to listen. I prefer to listen. So I don't know. I've always been that way. Like, when I got one of my first like serious jobs, they were giving us training, and I would like blew everybody else away because they would give you like little mini tests and like, okay, you have to pass this test before we'll let you actually get on the phone and call insurances and do this or do that. And I blew it away. And the lady that trained me later on, she was like, honestly, I didn't think you were gonna make it. You always had like this quiet, distant look about you. I never knew if you were actually listening. Like, I figured you would be one of the first to walk out. And I'm like, no, it's not that, you know, I like to listen. I'm not gonna sit there and, you know, I don't know, I listen. I don't have to sit there and be staring at you constantly or like chatting all the time. Like, I understand, I get what I need to do, I'm gonna do it. But yeah, I will never be the type of person super outgoing, but I try. Like, sometimes I do try, and sometimes it's hard to do YouTube videos, but I think I'm getting better. It's nice to have someone to talk to, even you guys. Which you could always just turn me off, but that's okay. I like to pretend you're listening to me all the way through. Alright, so I'm going to take this gel pen and I'm going to white out their eyes. I'm going to use the Jelly Roll instead of like the ColorIt, because the ColorIt's pretty scratchy and I don't care for it, so I'm going to try and get this to go. If this one will work now, I might need to get my next size up. Okay, you're not working. Oh goodness. Now he's not working. I'm gonna get the next size. I think I need to do like a supplies haul video. I feel like you can't really see it. Maybe I should paint his eyes. Try to make sure I don't lose you guys. I think it's because it's light blue. I mean, because there's definitely white there. Okay, and now this guy. So, it's good enough. All right, I'm going to go ahead and do my background. I'm going to zoom you out a little. To avoid this from being super unnecessarily long, I am going to go ahead and cut you guys off here. I'll return once I actually get the background done and we can take a look at it and see all the nice shiny stuff together. But it's been a blast talking to you so far. I hope that you stick with me for a few more minutes so that you can see the final result. I'm super excited / nervous, and I can't wait to show you guys. Alright guys, I am back and we are finally done. I hope that it was worth it, and I'm really glad I didn't make you sit there and watch me color in all the jellyfish and the bubbles, because that easily took me another hour and a half. I have time management issues. I like to take my sweet time with things, as you could probably tell by now, and if I had made you watch this, that would have probably been a part 3. So I went ahead, I shortened it up, but I hope that it's worth it. I hope you like it. I was really kind of reluctant at first to have a black background. Like I said originally in part 1, I wanted the watercolor ocean to be the background originally, but I like the concept of having the oceans inside the sharks. I wanted to have a dark background to push them off the page, and the black definitely achieves that, but I was considering for a short time maybe doing like a navy blue, and I think that just would have contrasted, and well, not even contrasted. I think it would have blended in too much with the sharks. I think it would have taken away from the pop that it has here on the black background, and I don't think the rest of what I did would have come up nearly as easily as it did on the black paint. So I went ahead and I added my jellyfish. I'm gonna bring it up to you so you can take a look. Those jellyfish are completely in colored pencils, and the bubbles are colored pencils and gel pens. Some of them are red, some of them are blue, some of them are silver, and some of them are white. and I really had a lot of fun with the background, almost as much if not more than having fun with just the sharks themselves. I will zoom you in here so you can take a look at both. I really feel like I'm in love with how it came out. I can't believe I managed to finally get this done and to come up with something so pretty. So I hope you guys like it, and I hope to keep producing more coloring chats, more coloring content with you guys. I actually just received a few more books in from Kirby Rosanis, and it seems like his paper is as good quality as Johanna Basford's. So more watercoloring, more fun, more layers of stuff. I really look forward to creating more with you guys. So if you like the video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. Leave me a couple comments. Let me know what you think I can do better, what you would like to see in the future, tips, tricks. I'm open to all kinds of conversation, any suggestions. And for sure, go ahead and subscribe to the channel because I am going to be putting more coloring content out there. Hopefully shorter coloring chats, maybe some longer ones for bigger projects. But I just want to get more involved with that community as well because I do find it so interesting and I am having so much fun coloring in other people's art as well. So thank you so much for your time. I know it's been a long one. I know I've rambled a lot, but thank you again. I really appreciate everything you guys have done and your time. And you guys have a great week. And I will bring you something later this week or definitely on Saturday, if not earlier. Thank you so much, guys. You have a good one.